Coming up at 9:30 tonight on Channel 404, African Perspective. The host, Tshepiso Makwetla, joins me tonight. Hi, Tshepi, nice to see you.
Hello, Chris.
Three of South Africa's top political parties, that's what you're discussing, their manifestos, what do they say about crime? And I think quite interesting that you have this discussion now, given what we're seeing, incidents of xenophobic attacks in South Africa.
So absolutely, Chrisola. So we're looking at the foreign policy proposals by the top three political parties in South Africa, obviously that being the ANC, Democratic Alliance, and the Economic Freedom Fighters. And we'll be zoning in on some of the issues that they think deserve great attention. You speak about xenophobic attacks. Obviously, immigration control has been something that has been raised by all parties, talking about how to mitigate instances where local residents fighting for very scarce resources turn on foreign nationals, and we have the kind of attacks that we have. We spoke about the criminality thereof, but also foreign nationals also being accused of being involved in criminality in South Africa. How do you then ensure that you deal with not only our porous borders, but the foreign nationals who are here, identifying whether or not they're economic migrants, identifying if they are coming into our labor market with scarce skills. Are they skilled practitioners that could be then integrated into the system, and whether or not, of course, the South African companies are following the labor laws in hiring some of these foreign nationals. That's actually a big issue. If you look at restaurants, for example, I know a lot of focus was put on that, where there were accusations that restaurants, for example, don't hire South Africans. They would hire, people from outside of South Africa and pay them quite less. Cheap foreign labor. That's obviously something to look at. But also, Chris Elder, if we talk about foreign policy, we're also talking about diplomatic relations. So we're looking at how South Africa interacts with other countries regionally, as in Africa, but internationally as well. So we are looking at trade relations as well. We're also talking about which, there's been a push for greater South-South cooperation in order to better develop the continent, which is better off for us. We'll also talk about the very tenuous relations. If we look at the Middle East relations, we know that there are parties here who advocate for an independent Palestine, and those who are calling for scaled down relations with Israel. So all of those coming under the spotlight today.
Thank you so much. The host of African Perspective, Tshepiso Makwetla, coming up with all of that at 21:30 this evening. Sure, do catch it. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with much more here on The Full View when we get back.